Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Daily Trust. The major headline here says, potential flashpoints to watch ahead of 2023 elections. You see other stories there say Southeast, Lagos, Kaduna, Plateau, Kano on red list. Hate speech, fake news identified as triggers. IPOB, Yoruba cessationist plot to stop polls. IGP, that's the Inspector General of Police, speaking. Actions the government must take before polls. All the details on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. We move now to the First News newspaper, 2023. Again, Atiku Tinubu's men tango. Again, Atiku Tinubu's men tango, as PDP presidential flag bearer says, Nigerians must not allow APC to return in 2023. Rates ruling party's performance woefully low. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. To the business day now. Banks, fintechs face hurdles in cashless economy race. Banks, fintechs face hurdles in cashless economy race. And on the front page of the Punch newspaper, finance bill, Dangote, 7up, 170 firms may lose 2.4 trillion naira tax waivers. Dangote, 7up, 170 firms may lose 2.4 trillion naira tax waivers. To the Leadership newspaper now, 67 days to go. 2023 elections won't be postponed, INEC declares. 67 days to go. 2023 elections, INEC, 2023 elections won't be postponed, INEC declares. To this Nigerian newspaper now, Buhari to INEC, no reason for lapses in 2023 elections. Politicians buying PVCs from poor voters are wasting their time, the commission is saying there, Mike.
Right, I have the Daily Times here, and it's focusing on 2023. Politicians can't bypass beavers through bought PVCs. INEC is saying this, and this is in response to what's going on generally right now when they talk about the news report came out that politicians were buying PVCs. Politicians can't bypass beavers through bought PVCs. That's what INEC is saying. But the Blueprint newspaper is the next one we're looking at now. And it said, despite federal government's 100 billion naira livestock project, Mieti Allah insists Buhari has abandoned us. We're at receiving end of cattle rustling, kidnapping, and others. Livestock next to oil if well harnessed. All right, I am not Fulani, but it's a hypocrisy to say livestock is private business. Lawan is saying this. All right, all this on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. From there, let's go to Nature News. And he says noise pollution persists in Lagos despite government strict regulation. Residents violate rules. Noise pollution persists in Lagos despite government strict regulation. Residents violate rules. That's what Nature News has. The Abuja Inquirer is next, and he says Abuja witnesses 32 car crashes each month. FCTA is saying this. 39 fatalities in 2022, 118 seriously injured, 1,120 prosecuted for traffic violations, and 3,522 denied driver license. Okay, that's what the Abuja Inquirer has. The national economy is next now. Is 15 years after 100 billion naira intervention, textile industry still dormant. 15 years after 100 billion naira intervention, textile industry still dormant. That's what the national economy has. Nigerian News Direct is next, and the last one we're looking at now. Hope dims as 14.6 billion naira Nigeria Air fails to begin operation. Hope dims as 14.6 billion naira Nigeria Air fails to begin operation. Recall that the Minister of Aviation has said that before the end of December this year, that Nigeria Air would have been on the air. But as it is right now, there is no hope just yet. But let's wait to see how it goes. Veronica?
All right, Mike, let's quickly take a look at this story. on the front page of the Daily Trust, talking about the 2023 election and potential flashpoints. And it says top on the list as Southeast, Lagos, Kaduna, Plateau, and Kano are on the red list. And it says that what are the things that trigger, some of the things that trigger this flashpoints or the activities of perhaps some level of is it insecurity or crisis we see in these flashpoints, rather hate speech, fake news, especially on social media, ethnic and religious profiling, intra-party fighting, legal tussles. And recall that leading up to the elections, we've been seeing some attacks on INEC facilities across the state by arsonists. And INEC has said they've witnessed to over 40 of those in a month. Leading up to the elections. And so there are concerns already from quarters, stakeholders, talking about all of this matters, how to address it. Now that we know the flashpoints, what are we to do? It's not just about knowing them, but addressing them head on before the time.
It is a good thing to even identify some of the flashpoints. And I know that the police and DSS and even the military and all of that, they're all working together to ensure that these are, in fact, those mentioned are not the only flashpoints, because there are still some other local flashpoints within, that may not necessarily be mentioned because of the long list of a lot of them. And if you look at the nature from the dissection of the kind of security threats that is posed in those communities, you discover that they are not the same.
Yes.
They are different. There are some that are prevalent with issues of kidnapping. There are others that are prevalent with cases of what do you call it? With banditry. Yeah. There are others that's just terrorism related and all of that. There are even others with stealing and armed robbery. So they fall in different categories. Yes. But one way or the other, they can pose a threat to the election. But the issue there is, that's why they're being named right now, to draw attention to people's to draw attention to people who live within that area, not just the security agents, not only security agencies, so that we can all be conscious. Like they say, when you see something, you say something. Yeah. So if you live within that area and you're going out on a certain day or on a daily basis, you'll be more conscious of the fact that anything can happen with it, because this place was named as one of the flashpoints for the election. So if you look at it, fake news is one of the number one. When we're building towards election, fake news is usually one of the number one. It's a very impactful in the negative sense, very, very infectious. It has a great influence in the way that people react, especially on social media, where people, you will see videos. In fact, sometimes there are videos of what happened in Congo or what happened in Malawi. It's sent here. And then you say, oh,
it goes viral.
No, it goes viral. All over again. Sometimes they are 2 years ago, sometimes they're even 5 years ago. And they say, it just happened in Enugu now. They're killing everybody in Enugu. Meanwhile, it is not even something that happened recently, or it's not even something that happened in Nigeria. Yeah. We've seen a video sometime of some insurgents, defeating some military personnel. Though it was a very gruesome murder. An attack in that sense, taking over their weapons and taking over their ammunition and all of that. And they say, oh, it happened in Yobe State. Others say it was Meduguri. I heard the news this morning. But if you zoom closer to some of the military, the vehicles there had plate numbers. The military vehicles there had plate numbers that were not Nigerian on one hand. There was a flag. Because the official number plates, or plate numbers, as the case may be, registration numbers, there is usually the flag of the country just by the side. There wasn't a Nigerian flag. When we saw about 2 of them, it wasn't a Nigerian flag.
A majority of Nigerians are not patient. We are very emotional, so we react to things without taking a closer look.
Nobody was looking. I said, how this thing is there, right there in the video. How would you even be saying it's Nigeria when you can be very sure that these numbers here are not even Nigerian? And moreover, the language they were speaking wasn't a Nigerian language. It wasn't any of the languages within Nigeria. So the point there is, fake news contributes to some of the crisis during elections at
And
this time
it
because
becomes
people are very quick to
difficult to
react.
manage when because it's on social media. How do you begin to manage that? Which is one of the challenges the
It
country
becomes
has
the
had.
responsibility of each person.
Individuals.
Exactly, because when these things are sent to you,
We are all
look at
stakeholders.
it. Because the challenge is that when you send it to me, and oh wow, woo, woo, I send it to him. Oh hey,
We keep
you send it,
sending
we
and
keep
sending.
sending. But the point there is when they send the video, check
Take a
the thing
closer
first,
look.
verify it first, look at it, and moreover, there are fact-checking platforms right now. If it is a video, or it is a picture, or it is a graphic, there are places you can feed them into, and it tells you everywhere that
For me,
used
it's
and so on.
a reflection of a core issue. Trust. We don't trust each other, which has to be addressed, where we begin to see each other as one Nigeria, not you against me or me against you. We need to see each other. That whatever happens affects us all.
I agree to the issue of trust. However, there are people who, even within the trust, there's mischief. There's mischief inside of us. Let me just send something that goes viral. You understand?
At the end of the day, whatever happens affects us all.
No, it does.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It
does. Affects us all because
Mm.
most people don't see themselves as stakeholders in this matter of election. We are all stakeholders. Whatever decision you make will affect me at the end of the day. So that is what I am saying, that we should understand that aspect. That we're all stakeholders. We must learn to begin to trust one another. It's one Nigeria we are looking out for at the end of the day.
And the flip side of that trust is when somebody you know that this person has some level of authority sends that kind of a video, you wouldn't even think of it twice. For instance, if I forward any video to you, to a great extent, you're going to. It's Mike now. It's from Mike. So I
want to believe.
Yeah, I want to believe that he must
verified.
have.
He knows the truth.
So the point there is the likelihood of another person forwarding that. Is this person that sent it to me? So I believe that it is true.
Right.
So we because we have those kind of connects with,
we all have
with each
a
other.
responsibility
Exactly.
as
And
it stands.
that's why everybody has to be responsible.